Good morning or good afternoon. Continuation of our lesson in microeconomics. So now we'll be going to chapter 2. Chapter 2 will be discussing about demand and supply analysis. So what is the relation of demand to supply? So dito sa chapter na to makikita natin kung ano yung iba't ibang different types of demand in correlation with the supply analysis. So tingnan natin. So let's start first with what is market. Market is a group of buyers and sellers that interact to exchange a good or service. So these are all the basic decision units within a market. We have entrepreneur, we have firms, and we have consumers. This is the circular flow of economic activity. I guess we have already discussed this previous chapters, chapter 1. Ito yung circular flow of diagram, so I guess I won't be dealing much on this as this was already explained sa chapter 1. Meron ditong households, meron ditong product and markets, merong firm, and merong input markets. So na-discuss ko na yan, so skip na natin yan. So ano ba yung output market? These are the markets in which goods and services are exchanged. Sa input market naman, it consists of the land market, the labor market, and capital market. These are the markets in which resources, labor, capital, and land used to produce products are exchanged. So dito, nagkakaroon ng exchange of services in terms of labor and capital between the land or the labor market and the capital market. So what is demand? It refers to how much quantity of a product or service is desired by buyers. So ito yung mga these are the products or services or commodities that we are intent to buy out of our income. Okay, so tingnan natin kung ano yung demand na yan. So we have quantity demand. What is quantity demand? The amount of good that buyers are willing and able to purchase during a specified period of time. Quantity demanded refers to a particular number of units. It is the relationship between price and quantity demanded is known as demand relationship. So ito yun class, okay? This one. As you can see here, we have two types of lines. We have the vertical line, which represents the price, and the quantity, and the horizontal line, which represents the quantity. Okay, as you can see, as the price increase, quantity demanded lessen. Okay, these two are connected. Say for instance, the price here are 5 pesos and 10 pesos. The quantity here is 1 and 2. Okay, initially, if the price is 5 pesos, say you have a 10 peso in your pocket, may 10 piso ka sa bulsa mo, the initial price is 5 pesos, okay, ito yon. The quantity that you can able to buy or demand is 2. For a 10 peso na may pera ka, ang kaya mong bilhin are 2 commodities or 2 goods. Here, ito siya. Okay, now as the price increase, as represented here, 10 pesos, syempre bababa na din yung quantity demanded mo. Sa pera mo na 10 piso, magiging isa na lang yung kaya mong bilhin. Okay, doon sa pera mo na 5 pesos, ang kaya mong bilhin is 2. Unfortunately, the following week, tumaas yung presyo ng chocolate. Let's say for instance, this is the price of chocolate. Tumaas ang price ng chocolate, naging 10 pesos siya. So sa pera mo na 10 pesos, magiging isa lang yung mapapurchase mo. It is the change in the quantity of good that the buyer or buyers are willing and able to purchase. Another graph or line graph. Okay, tingnan natin. Demand and quantity demanded. So, magkaiba siya, okay? Tingnan natin. Demand for pizza, say this is a pizza product. Demand for pizza is not a specific quantity, but rather the entire relation between price and quantity demanded and is represented by the entire demand curve. An individual point on the demand curve shows the quantity demanded at a particular price. The movement from, say, B to C here, as represented here, the movement from, say, B to C is a change in quantity demanded and is represented by a movement along the demand curve and can only be caused by a change in price. So the quantity here, the change in quantity here will be determined by the price increase here. Okay? As the price decreases, the quantity increases. As the price increases, the quantity decreases. Okay? For a price of 3 pesos, pizza, we are talking of pizza, as being said here. For a price of 3 pesos per slice of pizza, the amount of quantity that you can acquire or that is capable is 32. Now, as the price increase, say for instance, naging 6 pesos siya, the quantity demanded will be lessened to 26. If the price increased to $9 or 9 pesos, the quantity demanded will be 20, and so on and so forth. So, ganun lang siya, no? As the price increase here, the quantity will be lessened. As the price goes down, the quantity will be the quantity will be at its maximum output. So, inversely proportions siya. Pag dumadami yung quantity, bumababa yung presyo. Or pag bumaba ang presyo, dumadami yung quantity. Pag tumaas ang presyo, bumababa yung quantity. Ganun lang yun. So what are the factors affecting demand? We have goods own price, the consumer's income, the prices of related goods, and the taste and preferences of the consumer. Expectations and other special influences like weather or yung mga unforeseen circumstances or unforeseen events like yung nangyayari ngayon na lockdown, okay? So may mga prices or may mga commodities na biglang tumaas ang presyo due to scarcity of the availability of these products. Okay, tumaas yung presyo, bumaba yung demand. So madaming factors na nakaka-apekto sa demand ng ating commodities. Tingnan natin to. A demand schedule. So what is a demand schedule? It is a table showing how much a given product or a household would be willing to buy at different prices. Demand curves are usually derived from demand schedules. So here we have ANA, say for example, ANA's demand schedule for telephone calls. When the price of the telephone call, let's say price per minute, say this is an overseas telephone call, the price per minute is almost zero, okay? Ang kayang i-supply or ang kayang i-acquire ni Ana na telephone call per month nung mababa yung presyo is 30 calls per month. The following month, tumaas yung presyo, naging 0.50, bumaba yung consumption niya, naging 25 na lang. And then the following 3.50, naging 7, and so on and so forth. So, pababa siya. Pababa yung kanyang demanded or yung quantity demanded. Tumataas ang presyo, bumaba yung quantity demand. Ganun naman yung price. Ganun lang yung kasimple yung interrelation between the price and the quantity demanded. As the price go up, quantity demanded will be lessened. As the price go down, quantity demanded will be at its maximum. So ito yung demand curve na sinasabi, It is a graphical representation how much of a given product a household would be willing to buy at different prices. So law of demand. Law of demand states that if all other factors remain equal, the higher the price of a good, the less people will demand that good. Pagtaas ng presyo, pagbaba ng demand. Okay? So ganun din. Tingnan natin dito, So we have different types of intersections here. At 0.50, the demand is 25. At 3.50, the demand decreases to 7. At 7, the demand naging 13 siya. Bakit ganun? If you will notice, okay, dito naging 25. Okay, mababa ang presyo, 25. Tumaas ang presyo, naging 7, but dito, tumaas ulit ang presyo, pero naging 30 naman. Yung sinasabi na, states that if all other factors remain equal, the higher the price of a good, the less people will demand that good. Pero it doesn't mean na tumataas ang presyo. It doesn't mean class na tumataas ang presyo, bumababa yung demand. May mga certain commodities or certain products na kahit mataas ang presyo, malakas pa rin yung demand. Okay? So, depende na lang sa preferences. Sabi nga natin, madaming nakakaapekto sa demand ng isang tao. It can be your income, it can be the price, and also it can be the preferences. So, there are times na kahit mataas ang presyo ng isang commodity or ng isang product, the consumers are still willing to buy that product. So, the demand is still high. For example, Apple products or Apple iPhone. The price of Apple iPhone is increasing by the year. Every time na may lumalabas na bagong model ang Apple iPhone, mataas siya compared sa previous model niya. But still, mataas pa rin ang demand ng Apple iPhone. Bakit? Kasi, yun nga, sabi ko, it doesn't mean na tumataas yung presyo, naapektuhan yung demand. May exemption doon. Like for instance nga, yung Apple iPhone. Bakit ganon? Because of the preferences. Later on, makikita nyo na preferences also plays a major role depende sa demand ng isang consumer. So, goods and services. So, we have two types of goods. Meron tayong normal goods and inferior goods. So, ano yung normal goods? These are goods for which demand goes up when income is higher and for which demand goes down when income is lower. Ano naman yung inferior goods? These are goods for which demand falls when income rises. So, tingnan natin siya. Example dito is yung spam. Okay? And maling. Ito yung income. Okay? Between these two, syempre, mas superior yung spam when it comes to taste and quality compared sa maling. Sabi dito, normal goods are goods for which demand goes up when income is higher and for which demand goes down when income is lower. Yan yon. Okay? Siyempre, depende pa rin yan sa income. Depende pa rin yan sa income mo. Ang pag-acquire mo or yung pagde-demand mo sa normal good and sa inferior good. Depende pa rin. It all depends. Still, it depends on how much income you have. Okay? What is your financial stability. If the income is high or nakakaluwag ka, mataas yung sweldo mo, you can avail the normal good. So, ang demand mo for normal good or special goods is high compared sa demand mo ng inferior goods. Pag dumaas ang demand mo sa normal good, naturally, bababa yung demand mo sa inferior good. Okay, but on the other hand, if mababa naman yung income mo, if low income ka or sapat lang, the demand for normal good will be lessened. On the opposite, the demand for inferior good will be high. So, depende pa rin sa income mo. Depende pa rin sa income mo yung pag-avail mo ng two demand goods na to, the normal good and inferior goods. Balik tayo. Aside from normal goods, meron pa tayong substitutes and complements. Ano naman yung substitutes? These are goods that can serve as replacements for one another. When the price of one increases, demand for the other goes up. Perfect substitutes are identical products. Complements naman are goods that go together. A decrease in the price of one results in an increase in demand for the other and vice versa. Later on, we will be discussing on that. Mas maintindihan nyo by using graphs. So, ano naman ito shift of demand versus movement along demand curve? A change in demand is not the same as a change in quantity demanded. Kasi nga, there are times na nagkakaroon ng shift sa demand. Even if mataas yung presyo, nagkaroon ng shift sa demand, stable pa rin siya dun sa demand na yon. So, dami ng demand yun. Sabi ko nga kanina, even if mataas ang presyo ng Apple iPhone, the demand is still high. So, nagkakaroon ng shift from point A or from point demand A to point demand B. Say for instance, this one. Okay? Dito sa demand A, tumaas ang presyo niya, bumaba yung quantity. Okay? But still, dito, tumaas ang presyo, tumaas pa rin yung quantity niya. Dito siya, Yan, We have two intersections here. It doesn't mean na tumaas ang presyo nito, magiging mababa siya. There are times na kahit tumaas yung presyo ng isang commodity, okay, pwedeng maging stable siya sa demand level na yon. Depende pa rin sa income or preferences ng consumers. When demand shifts to the right, demand increases. This one. When this demand shift to the right, or when this line shift to the right, nag-i-increase yung demand. On the other hand, when the shift demands to the left, decrease naman yung demand niya. A change in demand versus a change in quantity demanded. Tingnan natin to. Say the price are 5 pesos or 10 pesos and 20 pesos. Consistent siya, okay? Ayun. Naging stable siya. As you can see, no? Dito siya, same as 1, tumaas yung price, naging 1 yung quantity, pero dito, it doesn't mean na bababa yung price or bababa yung quantity, naging consistent siya. Same level pa din. Same level pa rin siya. So, ano naman yung change in demand versus a change in quantity demanded? Change in price or of goods or services leads to change in quantity demanded, movement along the curve. Ito siya. And change in income or preferences or prices of other goods or services leads to change in demand curve. So, hindi lang, sabi ko, hindi nga lang siya presyo. Pwedeng preferences ng isang tao, ng isang consumer. Pwede rin siya mag-change in demand. It's not just the price that dictates the demand of a certain commodity, but also the income or the financial stability of the consumer. Say for instance, this one. Tumaas ang presyo, bumaba yung demand curve. Okay? Ito, walang shift. Wala siyang change in the demand curve. Wala siyang shift sa right. Isa lang siya. So, tumaas ang presyo, bumaba siya as being represented here. Arrow down. Dito, meron siyang 1 quantity, mababa yung presyo. Dito, tumaas ang presyo, hindi na siya makabili. The demand decreases. Ayan. Nag-decrease yung demand. Or nag-increase yung demand. Bumaba yung presyo, or rather, bumaba yung presyo, nag-increase yung demand. From 5 pesos, or from 10 pesos to 5 pesos, naging isa. Galing siya dito sa 0 na hindi siya makabili kasi nga 5 pesos or 10 pesos. Naging 5 pesos yung presyo ng chocolate. Dito, 10 pesos yung presyo ng chocolate. Ang pera mo, 5 pesos lang. Halimbawa, ang pera mo 5 pesos lang, okay? Ang presyo ng chocolate is 10 pesos. Hindi ka na makakabili. Ayan, wala ka na mabibili nun. But bumaba yung presyo, no? Naging 5 pesos siya, nakabili ka ng isa. Bumaba, nagkaroon ng isa. Dito naman, even if the price is 5 pesos, walang changes kasi nagkaroon nga ng shift in demand curve. Okay, it doesn't mean na tumaas yung presyo, wala nang bibili niyan. May mga pagkakataon na kahit tumaas ang presyo niya or kahit mahal yung presyo, may bibili pa din. So, walang changes sa demand curve. Depende nga sa mga taong bumibili or depende sa preferences ng consumer. So, yun nga, no? These are normal good and inferior goods. So, the impact of change in income. Higher income decreases the demand of an inferior good, while higher income increases the demand for a normal good. Pagtaas ang presyo mo, pagtaas ang income mo, pagbaba ng demand mo sa inferior good. Bakit? Kasi syempre may pambili ka ng mas mataas sa quality ng product. So, hindi mo na to bibilhin. The demand for a certain product or higher normal product will increase. Whereas, higher income increases the demand for normal good and decreases the demand for inferior good. Baliktad naman, okay? Pag bumaba yung presyo mo or pag bumaba yung sweldo mo, tataas ngayon yung demand mo for inferior good. The higher the income, the higher this one, the lower this one. The lower the income, the higher this one, the lower this one. So, inversely proportion sila. Magkabaliktad. Ito naman yung substitute good na sinasabi or complement goods na sinasabi dun sa kaninang slide. The impact of a change in the price of related goods. The price of hamburger rises. The demand for complement good also rises. The demand for substitute good decreases. Ano yung substitute good? Etong chicken. Okay? In the event na bumaba ang presyo ng hamburger, okay? Bumaba siya, madaming bibili. At the same time, yung complementary products that go along with this hamburger, tataas din yung demand niya. Kasi, syempre, laging magkasama yung dalawa. Walang lasa ang hamburger pag walang ketchup. Syempre, lumaki ang demand sa hamburger, lalaki rin ang demand sa complement good, which is ketchup. Syempre, bababa ngayon ang demand for substitute good, which is chicken. On the other hand, pag tumaas ang presyo ng hamburger, bumaba ang demand sa hamburger, bababa ang demand sa complement good, tataas ang demand for substitute product. So, depende pa rin sa capability ng consumer. So, ito yon. Ito yon, sinabi ko kanina, ano? Quantity of hamburger demanded falls. Demand for complement goods, ketchup, shifts to left. Bumaba din. Okay? Tumaas ang presyo ng hamburger. The quantity demanded falls. Ayan. Tumaas ang presyo ng hamburger. Ito, from quantity here, from price here, tumaas ang presyo. Tumaas ang presyo, bumaba yung demand. At the same time, yung complement goods, bumaba din. Ito yung line ng ketchup, no? Ito yung line ng complement goods. Bumaba siya from here napunta dito kasi nga bumaba yung price ng commodity ng hamburger, bumaba yung naapektuhan yung price ng complement goods or yung demand ng complement goods, nag-shift sa left, 'di ba sabi natin kanina, demand curve shift to right, tumaas, demand curve shift to left, bumaba. Ngayon, yung demand curve naman ng substitute good is nag-increase. Pumunta siya sa right. So, individual demand and market demand. Individual demand refers to the demand of an individual consumer, while market demand is the sum of the total individual demands of all consumers in the market. So, ito, say for instance, ako yung may demand, individual. Ito naman market, kabuuan, pinagsama-sama lahat ng demand ng consumer or ng isang individual. So, increase in the market demand. Suppose income increases. Ayan. Some consumers will now be able to buy more pizza at each price. Market demand increases. Demand from shifts to the right from D to D1. D1. A decrease in demand will mean demand shift to the left from D1 to D. Income pa din. Say for instance, price of the pizza from 3, 6, 9, 12, 15. Ito naman yung quantity demanded or the amount ng quantity demanded from 8, 14, 20, 26, 32. Nag-start siya sa 14 or nag-start siya sa 32. Ito, say for instance, the price is $3 or 3 pesos per slice. 32 yung pwede mong i-demand. The following week, naging 6 pesos. Naging 6 pesos yung kanyang demand, yung kanyang price naging 26 na lang. Hanggang sa makarating sa 12 pesos, ang naging demand is 40 na lang. As the price increase, demand lessens. As the price go down, demand increases. But as you can see here, meron tayong shift, no? Shift of demand na hindi nakaapekto. Okay? So, tingnan natin, no? Sa 12 pesos na presyo, naging 20. Dito sa D1 or D0 na sinasabi, okay? Dito sa D na to, the price is 12, bumaba siya, naging 14 lang. But ang maganda dito, tumaas yung sweldo mo. Halimbawa, ikaw, nagkaroon ka ng increase. Dati kasi, pag nag-grocery ka, ang binibili mo is 10 delata, okay? Or 10 or sabihin natin 10 spam ang kaya mong bilhin dun sa sweldo mo, okay? Ngayon, biglang bumaba yung sweldo mo. Nagkaroon ka ng siguro may mga absent ka or late na kinaltas sa'yo sa sahod mo, or tumaas yung presyo. Sabihin natin, tumaas yung presyo ng spam. From dati na 9 pesos, naging 12 pesos. Okay? So, yung dati, nabibili mo na 10 delata na spam, doon sa 9 pesos, kaya mo siyang bilhin. 10 cans. But unfortunately, naging 12 or 20 cans. But unfortunately, naging 12 yung price ng spam, $12, naging 40 na lang yung kaya mong i-acquire na demand. Okay? Pero, since tumaas yung sweldo mo, the following months, nag-increase ka, malaki yung increase mo, okay? So, sabihin na natin na kahit $12 ang presyo ng isang lata ng spam, nagkaroon ka ng increase sa salary mo, sa income mo, doon sa $12 na yon, the following months na mag-grocery ka, makaka-avail ka pa rin ng mas mataas na 20. Okay? So here, the price stays the same, 14. Ito yung, sabihin na natin, ito yung dati mong salary. This is your former salary. Ito yung una mong sweldo sa company mo. Ayan. Okay? Doon sa una mong sweldo, nagtaas ang price ng spam, 14 lang yung nakaya mong bilhin. Okay? And then the following months, nagkaroon ka ng increase, malaki yung increase mo sa sweldo mo, no? Kahit pa sabihin natin 12, the next time you will buy spam or mag-grocery ka, makaka-avail ka na ngayon ng 20. Kasi nga, lumaki yung sweldo mo. Yun yung sinasabi dito. Suppose income increases, some consumers will now be able to buy more pizza at each price. Market demand increases, demand shifts from D to D. A decrease in demand, on the other hand, will mean demand shift to the left from D to D. So, ito increase, ito decrease. From household to market, demand for goods or service can be defined for an individual household or for a group of households that make up the market. Market demand is the sum of all the quantities of goods or services demanded per period by all the households buying in the market for that good or service. So these are just the same concept. Pare-pareho lang to, no? Assuming there are two households in the market, market demand is derived as follows. Household A demand, household B demand, market demand curve. No? So these are two individuals na magkaiba, yung sabihin natin magkaiba ang salary, no? Itong si household A, for a price of $4, tatlo lang yung nabili niya kasi nga mas maliit yung sweldo niya or yung salary niya. Dito naman sa household B, for a price of $4, apat yung nabili niya kasi mas malaki yung income niya compared kay household A. For a price of $3, apat yung nabili na quantity ni household A. For a price of $3, 6 yung nabili na quantity ni household B. Mas malaki ang income ni household B compares kay household A. So, ano naman yung market demand curve? Tingnan natin ang market demand curve niya. Okay? So, 7, 4, plus 3. Do sa 4 pesos na price, ang kayang bilhin ni household A is 3. Ang kayang bilhin ni household B is 4. So, the market demand curve, total of A and B is 7. The demand curve for both B and A or A and B, the demand curve is 7 at the price of 4. Okay? The demand curve for A and B at the price of $3 is 10. Okay? 6 plus 4 equals 10. The demand curve for A, ulitin ko, the demand curve for A and B at the price of $4 is 7. Okay? The demand curve for A and B at the price of $3 is 10. 6 plus 4